Reggaeville family, welcome to a brand new episode of Take Me Places. And I am very honored, flattered, and proud
Yes.
to have with me
Yes.
singer,
Yes.
musician,
Yes.
arranger,
Yes.
composer,
Yeah.
producer,
Yeah.
talent scout,
Yeah.
gardener.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
A man with so
Salute.
many talents, a man who has been with rocksteady music from the very beginning and
yes.
through the whole process,
Yes.
a man who has spent 60 years of his life
Yes.
dedicated to reggae music, who has
True.
been there from the very beginning as well,
yeah.
and a man who has, dedicated a
Yeah.
lifetime.
Major contributor. Contributor, yeah.
Contributor, the living legend Leroy Sibbles is here with me today.
Salute to my people. Yes, yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm feeling good, and nice to have you here. Nice to have you having me to do this. I'm proud. Yes.
Thank you. Speaking of where are we and why did you take me to this place?
This is my residence, and I'm proud to invite you here, and no problem. And this we are in Kingston, and this area is called Evandale. Yes, So I've moved here, bought this place, and arranged it how I want it, Yes, and I'm good at arranging things,
Obviously.
Yeah, yeah, man. I've made it as comfortable as I could for myself, and my friends. Cause from I was a kid, I was always a person who think about others. See, you guys are coming, and I picked some fruits and stuff and prepared for your, welcoming and all that. Yeah, that's how I am. Yeah, so this is where we are. Yeah.
It definitely feels like a very calm and soothing oasis kind of
It
place.
is so quiet and nice. Yeah. I had Bob Andy. Yeah, right here, right in this area. Just before he passed, for about 2 years. Was trying to nurture him and encourage him to get well and all of that. But I guess when I got him, it was too far gone
Yeah.
to come back, 'Cause he did some operations and all of them things, and he was deteriorating, which wasn't a good thing, and I miss him so much. Actually, listen to this. The day when Bob Andy passed, a bird flew on my lawn, a dove, and was doing the most dance, something I've never seen anything like that before. She came and she flew and she sat and she was fluffing her tail and she was doing some stuff there that I know something was special happening, I couldn't figure, and because after that I've never seen another bird do stuff like that. And before that, I've never, in my presence, that. And about half an hour after, someone called and said,
Wow.
Bob Andy had passed. I said, oh, look at that. You know, this was some form of spiritual sign.
Definitely.
Yes, yeah. We used to go to the Bob Marley beach. He and I, yes. And my woman here. We used to meet up at the beach. Sometimes he came here and we drove together with Alan Skillcole.
Oh, okay.
That was next person, another great person. That they used to hook up together even before me too. So I joined that trio selection. Yeah, we had a good time. So before he passed, I know he had we used to feed him some good food that he loved it, and yeah, my woman here is a great cook, really good cook. Um, when are you leaving?
In about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks, right? So we could arrange a little food, thing, Yeah, we could do that.
Wow.
She loves to cook. She's a good cook, so she loves to cook for people. We could do that. So we keep in touch and arrange that too, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That sounds really wonderful. And in this very city that we're in, this is where you basically also started your life
Yes.
down in
Would
Trenchtown,
you
right?
believe this? Before we go there, next door me,
Yeah.
I invited Marcia Griffiths to come here, and she said, "Lee, don't you remember I was living next door? You used to come and visit me next door here."
Okay, wow.
I didn't even remember that. She said, "Yes, me and Babande was living right next door here." So it's like a musical
Hub kind of
yeah,
place.
place. You know what I mean? It has its history of music. So I said, "Oh my God, I can't even remember that." I remember I used to visit them, but I didn't realize that it was right here. And here I come, and establish right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
You see, things happen for a reason,
Yes,
right?
life
It
is
must be
so-
the spirit of the place.
Yeah, it's like a full circle.
Yeah.
She was right next door, and I come set myself right here. Yeah. So that was something else. Yes. So I was always a city youth. I was born in Kingston, born in Trenchtown. I was telling your husband to exactly where. You know, it's a area that they call Ghost Town. That eventually. First it was called Newland Town.
Okay.
NEW land, yeah, like a new land, yeah. And then I'm here right here, and this is called Highland.
The progression makes sense,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the Lord has a way of doing, wonderful things, mystical things, yeah. So Newland Town, Trench Town, right now it's called Jungle. Originally concrete jungle, Yeah, so I grew up in that area. I was actually born on West Road and 13th Street, between 12th and 13th Street, you know. Yeah, my dad, he owned, he when I got conscious enough to see what was happening, like around 4, 5, 6, in that age, I remember my father had he used to drive ice trucks, deliver ice to people, and he established a union with them people. He was very progressive person too, a smart guy. Oh yes, owned his own trucks and all of them things. He transitioned into a lot of different things. So I guess that's how I got so multi-talented too, even myself. These are stuff from my dad. Yeah, but in Trenchtown, my mom and my dad separated when I was very young. So my mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother, we were on the Trenchtown, Ghost Town, Trenchtown side. My dad was in that area too, but he moved out, and moved to the another area called Waterhouse area, and so I had the best of two set of families. I would be over here a few months, so back to my dad. But I love being with the ladies though. I was pampered and and all of that. My dad was a bit too tense, too harsh. My great grandmother was called Miss Emmeline. My grandmother was Estelin Prince. My great grandmother was Emmeline Williams. My my mother Mavis Brown. My grandmother is still in Prince, you know. But these ladies I grew up with, and
Did you have any siblings as well?
yeah. After a while, I got two other brothers, you know, on my mom's side. Yeah, there's a lot of kids on my father's side, but on my mother's side, I have one brother called Kirk Bailey, Carlton Bailey. You know, two brothers. Yeah, Carlton is still in Canada. Yeah, Kirk, he came back home. Now, on my father's side, I have like four sisters, you know, and one brother, you know, and they're in America, in the States. Now, I'm planning on bringing my dad home right now to come spend the rest of his life right here with me, you know. Yeah, I'm planning to sit with him outside in the mornings where we sit and we talk and, you know, keep his company until, you know, that time, you know, for him to travel on to the higher planes, you know. Yeah. He's on 97 right now.
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, I know you would. Yeah, 97.
How is he doing?
Really good.
Okay, wonderful.
Really good. Let me show you something here. This was taken about two years or so ago.
Wow.
That's him there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's my dad. He looks fitter than me. You see?
Wow. Yeah. He looks like he's in very good spirits.
Yeah, a good health. Yeah, you know. So, and my mom is in Canada. Yeah, my dad here. He lives in Queens, Corona. You know, so I'm planning on bringing him home. My mom is 90.
Wow.
You know, and she asks for me every day.
Wonderful.
Yeah. My other brothers, they are a little bit jealous because all she asks about, Leroy, when I'm going to see Leroy? I was just there like a month ago, right? You know, and she saw me almost every day. And as I left, me long for see Leroy. Where is he? You know, so I have to call her at least every other day.
Of course.
Yeah, and when I do, she's the happiest person. That just remind me, she need her today's call too.
All right. So right after this interview, you can.
I give her a call. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, so yeah, so that's how my setup has been. I from birth, I have been a very what do you call that? Gifted person. I gifted in the sense that I have been a kid that grew up with a lot of love, you know, and it's a good thing. 'Cause it has made me kind of smoother, you know, less harsh than a lot of other people, you know, because when I think when you grow up with love, you have love to share.
Yes.
There's more love within you, you know. A lot of kids are people that are out there that are very temperamental and harsh. Maybe it has to do with a lot of their upbringing. You know, if you grew up in hard times, you're gonna be a harder person, harsh. You know, and I'm really sorry for those kind of people too, because we could have had a better world if it was all more love from the beginning. You know, yeah, yes.
I mean, we know Trenchtown as the hub of music and the birthplace of reggae music. So how was, apart from your personal growing up there, the general, let's say, musical vibe in Trenchtown? Because, I mean, you learned guitar from two Rasta elders within your community, right? One.
Yeah.
And you also met Barry there and Earl, right? Even though you've been rivals at the very beginning, with the vocal trios, but I mean, so obviously you had the musical connections there. Was music, so to speak, all over the place, or how can I imagine the situation down
Well,
there?
generally, Jamaicans are musical people, you know, generally, and Trenchtown was no different. You know, we in the earlier days we hadn't had the exposure of much. Um, what would it say? Regular systems that would give us. We depended on the radio. That were our first exposure to music. We had a little radio system called the Radio Fusion, and that's where we got our musical content from. And usually they would be playing more of the American kind of music, you know, adapted music, because our early recordings was rare, local recordings, you know, and I guess we were listening to the whole thing started from a thing called mento to calypso to ska, you know, and after that, then the development of the creation of rocksteady to reggae, and you know, to dancehall as they would call it. Yeah, but the music was always there, and the little sound system that they had, the people, because my mom used to keep some dances too. She used to love the dance. Yeah, you know. So I can remember that my mom used to keep some dances, which I wasn't too. I was so young that I was a foodhead, you know. So I would always be waiting on the Sunday, you know, because the leftovers would be mine. I said, up to today, I love curry goat. I just love curry goat. Nice cooking curry goat, though, you know. If the food has no taste, I don't. It's not for me.
Okay.
It has to be well done, you know, nice. Yeah. So after a Saturday night, whatever was left over, I was always looking forward to the Sunday, you know, as a kid, you know. Oh yes, you know. But my mom used to keep dances. She had some female friends. I guess that was part of why she and my dad broke up too. But because my dad was more intellectual,
Okay.
yeah, he wanted her to learn a trade. Actually, the last time I saw my dad, he never forget this. I said to him, Dad, I was speaking to my mom, you know, I saw her just the other day before I came to you, and he said, oh, Mavis, oh, I took that woman to learn sewing. You know, he still remembers clearly. And I said it to her, she laughed. She said, oh, make him go on. You know, yeah. You know, but he wanted her to be, you see, you know, more, you know, and that standard. She was a more party going person. You see? She and her friends, yeah, so it would work. Two different concepts, you know, it's a clash between mentalities right there, you know. And I think she would have been much better off if she had gone his way, you know, because I know she was his first love in the sense of a child, having a child, you know. So having, you know, when two young people have their first kid and the father is really a progressive person, you know, the unity could have been great if they were thinking alike, you know. It could have grown. My hope was that it would have been like that and grew to be, you know, something really great together. Because every kid wants their parents to be together, you know. The separation breaks up a lot of mentality of kids, you know. Yeah, so yeah, but they parted because of different mentalities, you know. So that was that. But the music, like you asked, was always there. People always loved the music back then, and I met Toots when I was like about maybe 12 or so, or 13, somewhere around there. And on a road called um, West Road. That was what it's called. Yeah. And he introduced himself to me. He said, I'm Toots, and I was really pleased to meet this one of the first recording artists of the time, you know? Oh, yeah. And so I remember, I could never forget that. That was the first artist I've ever met, you know, before I got popular, you know, and then start meeting people. Yeah, my very first artist I met was Toots. So meeting Toots was a great thing, and even then I wasn't thinking of music for myself, you know. Even though me and my mom, we used to sit on Sunday afternoons after eating Sunday dinner, and we would sing a lot of duet songs, male and female duets. But I used to realize that the music came to me very easily, you know, because we're doing this, the harmonies I was just singing it, without no problem, and enjoying this. I used to love Sunday evenings with me and my mom. We are both.
She was a good singer too.
Yes, we're both Aquarians. Yeah, actually, a few years back, in Canada, because she's in Canada, I had a show downtown, and I introduced her, to come on stage and sing all of those songs, and it was good. It went on really good, Yeah, we sang one of them old duets that we used to do, and oh yeah, actually someone sent me a clip of that thing recently too, Yeah, me and my mom on stage. She loved that. Yeah, she loved that. So when we in Trenchtown, right? We used to do that, so that showed me that I had the music in me, but wasn't thinking, because as a kid, more time you're not thinking what you're gonna be, what you wanna be, or nothing like that. You're living that moment exactly, and for the moment. I can remember that radio was playing, My mom had a little shop right in front of our gate in Trenchtown, in the lane, right at the front there, and I was on the Pazer meaning outside the shop, outside of the shop itself, on that walk, you had to step down to continue walking, Yeah, and I was there, and this man, I think he was coaching her. He was trying to, be her man or something. Because I used to see him a lot come there, Right. That's why I was there as a kid, just fooling around, doing my own thing, and the music was playing an instrumental song, foreign instrumental song, and subconsciously, I was singing my own lyrics, my own melody to this song. This music being played in the background. And the man, it touched him. He looked around, he looked at me, and he said, "But boy, how you know how to do that?" And that shook me up too, And I said to myself, I must have been doing something, of interest. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't even thinking at the moment what I was doing, but I was doing it. It's all of that what's inside of me coming out subconsciously. Pouring out, because it's like you have this little drum and it's full of water, and when it rains, it's so full that it's overflowing. I was some of that was flowing. Yeah, from a younger age.
So, do you recall how old you were?
Back then, I was very young, maybe 8 or somewhere around there, Yeah, 7, 8, yeah. Very young. Because I was, I think I was going to Kingston Senior School then, I'm terrible with years, Yeah, I am not good at pinpointing years. But I know I was, thinking back, I know I was very young back then, and maybe, yeah, maybe 8, 9, 10, within that age, you know. Yeah, but I was very good. I was very, good with my hands too. I had imagination galore. I could, my dad, right? When I sometimes it took me for a few months too, when already they had me like a swinging door, back and forth, Yeah, my mom would have me sometimes. My dad would come and get me when they ready, because I was the firstborn for both of them, Right. So one of the moments when I was with my dad, he would he had a grocery shop now, a shop that sold almost everything. He called it Bright Beam Grain Store, you know.
You took over that name from him?
Yes, that's why I continue that name as for the musical label, definitely. Yeah, so he had a lot of different single individual females come and work the place. Like I can remember at least 3 or 4 different people that came and went. So one time he realized that I was capable. So he had me like, and he was teaching me to, you know, while I was there. I wasn't going to school at that moment, but he was teaching me all my lessons. You know, he took an half a day to teach me to read a clock with hands. What you call it? Not a digital clock. One of those. Yeah, which a lot of people today don't know can do that. They depend on digital to even tell the time. You know. Yeah, I learned that early. Half a day. Yeah, you know, with a minute hand and the second hand. Yeah, hour hand and the minute and the second hand. A lot of kids today don't know nothing about that. Yeah. So he had me running the store. Yeah, because he realized I was capable enough, and normally, and he's a person like this. He's very strict. So if he didn't see that I could do it, he wouldn't have even mentioned that. So that was part of the whole thing. He got me in there. I spent maybe a 2 or 3 months or more, maybe more or less, and so that's how my only friend was comic books, which enhanced my intelligence a lot. Believe that. Yes. I lift my hand to Marvel. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And I rate those people too, because they weren't just telling a lot of bull. They tried to get their facts in there. Yeah. I can remember I went to the moon long before NASA did, because of Marvel. Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. Marvel Comics. Yeah, man. They enhanced my reading ability and my mental, ability. Yeah.
But so reading a lot, being capable of working in your dad's business, and still somehow you pursued the musical path in your life,
Yeah,
right?
long after when I grew up.
Yeah.
When I became a teenager now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. But all of these things I'm telling you was before being a teenager.
At a younger age.
Yes, a younger age. I wasn't even teenager when I was running that store.
Wow.
I got so good that if somebody come and said, quarter pound of saltfish, I got so good that I would put a big piece of fish on there and just chop, bam, I put it on the scale, quarter pound, yes. You know, so that's how the mind
Yeah.
gets, you know, yeah, in coordination with everything that you do.
Wow.
That's when I realized that, yeah, they used to use a scoop and the flour was there in a bag and the sugar and they use paper bags and they said half pound of sugar and I just scoop it up, put it in there and drop it at half a pound. I mean that don't happen every time, you know, but lots of times, yeah, exact bang on it. I said, my God, because you after a while you kind of learn the volume that takes to do these things too, you know. Mentally it just locks in. Yeah, so I was doing all these things and it was marvelous to me, you know, doing all these little things, yes. I, the only, like I was saying, but the comics, I couldn't even go and buy them myself. That's how strict my dad was.
Okay.
You know, I had to have a little friend, you know, a little boy out there that was my friend, and I would give him money to go buy comics for me and stuff. So if I had... thank you. Oh my God, how could you do this? Oh no. A black man come. Yes. Yeah. That's a special manga, you know. It hit me. Yeah. Look how the place big and all the way I come and give you a... yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So yeah, so if I had all those comics now, I could have been rich.
Yeah.
You know? Like, don't make it a habit now. All right. Take it easy, please. Thanks. Yeah. So, yeah, because comic books after for the age, because we are talking like over 50 odd years now or more.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, there of course. I've seen books goes comic books being sold for $50,000.
And I imagine you had taken care of them really well, right?
No, if I did, no, I lost all of. No, I didn't. So that was a big loss for me. 'Cause I had all of those original editions, but these are the things that weren't taught to us. You know? Yeah. You know, these are the things that were missing from our teachings to preserve.
Preservation.
Yes, to preserve. Yeah. So that's how we lose out on a lot of things, you know. Foreigners learn these things to preserve. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, we weren't taught that, you know. Because if I did, I could have achieved from that, you know. That was a part of my loss, you know, because I wasn't educated in that area, you know, or guided. Yeah, so that was that. So yeah, my dad but my mental brain span was very good. Very was way above normal, average, way above. My dad took me to teach me to drive half a day, and that was it. And I taught
What
myself.
age was that?
If it was teen, it was early teens, like 12, 13 or so. If it was so old. Yeah, on one of his trucks. Yeah, and the little drive. And we
Could you even reach the pedals?
well, I was always tall, you know.
Yeah, okay.
You see? I always a tall kid. So that was an advantage there, you know. Yeah, so, yeah, but we fell out. I didn't even learn much then. But on the occasion that I learned to drive, Barry Llewellyn, he got one of the Heptones, right? He passed. He passed. Yeah, Barry passed. He had somehow, I don't know how he got it from who, maybe his parents or whatever, or he bought it, a little Austin. It's a British made vehicle called an Austin A40. But he would only drive it because he had no license and it was not licensed, and he only drove it in his area, right? On the dump and right around him. Because he was close, where he lived, there was a public dumping area close by down in Trenchtown there. We had that for once, where all the kids would gather together and mess around through the dump here, and we would. It was like a treasure, a treasure mountain for us. We would find all kind of things from uptown that we. And it's not that I was one of the kids that needed all this, but I was just a kid, and all of my friends doing this, so I'm there doing that because I could do a lot better. I was doing I was doing a lot better. Cause my dad he had stuff, right, and my mom she worked. My great grandmother they were all independent people. My great grandmother she was uh, um what do you call that? She sold mangoes by the bushel. A bushel basket is a basket that could hold you, me, and your family. Real big, huge. And that's how she used to. And these are the areas too that she used to come and buy mangoes. Yeah, she was a merchant. Yeah, So I was one of the fortunate ones. I was never lacking for food. There was one evening that I went to bed hungry in my life. I was very fortunate. Yet I was always out there with the kids that were less fortunate. Me and them, because it's them. And kids are. Yeah, so we would go through, you know. Yeah, so we're talking about the car though, right? So I jump into his car, man. I said, "Beg I drive down," and took it all over the place. Out the road, all over the city, all over the town. Wasn't him thinking. Okay, he was scared of cops and all of them things. So he was there with me too. And I taught these guys so much, you wouldn't believe me. You know? They realized the mentality that I had, that I got a nickname after a while, Pa, the daddy. Yeah, Pa. That was given to me by one of my girlfriends too. Because I used to trash her ass and tell her, stay off the road, stay inside, you're a female. Don't stick, whenever she see me coming, she would take off and go home. Yeah, because I didn't want her out there. I was a little bit of my dad in me. Yeah. And you're going to get my father. Yeah, that's how I got the part thing, that started really. But Barry Llewellyn, I taught him a lot because they were a bit dark, on the dark side mentally, because of their environment, I would say. And I enlightened that guy a whole lot. Took him on the road, and he would see how I handled situations. When I was confronted by even cops. Even police stopped me and would talk out my way out of it and all them things. And so after a while I hear him start to talk up to, and I said, "Oh boy, this kid don't even realize that he's learning." But I could see that development too, progress, exactly. So I was always doing positive things, even without even going at it personally. Even just my way of life and living, would put people on the right track. So I know I was born for this special purpose. Oh yeah. As I said this, I remember my great grandmother, Miss Emmeline. Yeah. She bought me a little goat kid,
Mm-hmm.
as a pet.
Mm-hmm.
And that kid grew up amongst me so much. Animals love me.
Mm-hmm.
They love me. When they get to know me, they love me. Kids too. Yeah. You know, I'm here with my woman here, right? And she, those two puppies,
Yeah.
she bathe them, she take care of them, she feed them and all that. And guess who they run around with?
You and the girl?
Yes. They just lock with me. And sometimes she get jealous. Just say for them one thing, I don't deal with no.
I can imagine.
She call them and they don't move.
Mm.
Say, come, go out. Come, let's go outside. Go pee or something. Take them out. Because we're trying to train them not to do nothing in the house. Because we don't want that.
Of
So, but they don't move.
unless you call it.
And as I get up, they're up and ready. Oh, lively, ready to go. I should a little bit jealous of that. But that's how the cat is too.
Okay.
She loves me like crazy.
Everybody loves to follow that.
Yeah. She comes and she just take her head and just start to rub on my foot. She's, oh gosh. But I've grown allergic to her.
Oh,
I've developed allergies because of her. So it hurts me so bad because she comes for the love and I have to keep avoiding her.
yeah,
I have to be avoiding her and it's not nice.
yeah.
Because I can see the loneliness in her.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we used to be so tight.
yeah.
But that's that. So I was telling about the little goat. One night, the kid grew up nice size now, goat kid, and she would be there and like out there and you call her and she run come just like a dog. The animals are so incredible. I respect every form of life, you know. And I'm going to get back to that, but I'm going to prove to you, something that I did, And it might sound so funny and strange, right? But I wanted was to show people that your confidence, right? When something or someone confides in you, then they accept you. They open up to you. They allow you to do things. I took the dogs to, and these are just examples that people need to know.
Mm.
You know, these are things that happen, and I think I made a video of this too, just to while it was happening, and yeah, I was sitting outside while the dog was in the vet, so I was waiting for the doctor to check out the dog, So I was sitting outside, and a fly flew and pitched on my leg, right? And I took my hand slowly and went and tried to touch him, slowly, not trying to really scare or nothing like that. Just, gently put my hand there, and he flew off. And he came back and came back at the same spot. I said, "Oh, you want to play?" And I did it again, and he flew off. I came back to the same place. And I kept doing that forever. So I took my camera and started to video this.
Yeah.
And he flew off, and after a while, he allowed me to touch him more than once. And when I touched him, he flew off again. I came right back.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So love is it's international. It's for every life, every form of life. Not because it's a fly, you just want to swat it. Yes, if I did that, you see that moment that we had, I wouldn't have had it. I would have missed all of that. So I recorded that and I sent it to a lot of people and showed them that. When I was telling this guy about it before I showed him, I said, after I pitched him, I hear him, "What you do? You kill him?" Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yes. He became a friend.
Yeah.
He confided in me, trust me so much that he gave me a chance to touch him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are things to prove that love is the greatest thing.
Right.
Trust. Yeah, man. That's a fly, you know. That's an insect.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he has feelings. Yes. And I know a lot of people have moments too of different other things that they could share, and you know that would be similar. Of course, you know. What's you know so that's that. Yeah. So the goat, that little my little goat kid. We're back to that. My great grandma gave it to me, and she grew up and thing. So at night time before we go to bed, you know, that was sorry. Back in Trenchtown, we were talking in the early days. Sorry. And she was playing with me, and I just burst out. It just came out of me and said, "Granny, them want to kill the goat." Just like that, you know. We had no goat argument or nothing like that happening, you know. But the spirituality within my spirit and the environment, you know, and that special person that I really am, you know, because it all adds up, you know. It just came out of me. Granny, they about kill the goat, and she and my mom, everybody start laughing. Like I was very young back then too, you know. At that time I was like 6 or you know, 6, 7, within young, very young. So where did that come from? You know, oh yeah, that just came from we had a laugh. The 4 day in the morning, early in the morning, people woke us up and said that they saw blood running from out of a gate going down the lane. They killed the goat right inside my yard. The sad night.
And who did that? You.
Thieves, yeah, thieves.
And you sensed that even
Yes, before it happened. You understand? So there's a lot of spirituality in life. You know, that's not just normal. So there are some people that can tell tales, can read your fortune and do these things. I believe these things. Yes. Because that was a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah. Spirituality.
Yeah.
You know? So Grandma, we found, as I came out of the yard, the killer goat right in the yard. Because I was the only male person in that yard, you know. Remember I tell you that it was females.
Yes, right.
So they took advantage of this, or disadvantage. Killed the goat. We found her head in the bushes, in the bush fence. That stuck the head there. They didn't want the head, and they took the body. We followed the blood, found the head, and they took the body away. And that was that.
That was horrible.
Terrible, you know. I can imagine how I felt. You know,
Yes.
I cried for days.
Yes.
You know. Yeah. So that's the show that I wasn't born as a normal spirit. You know. You know, I used to have visions that I'm floating at the height of telephone pole, reoccurring vision, the same vision, many years, for years. You know. Same dream. And after a while, I realized it's me being established. I was born to do this musical thing. Yeah. I being established, me on stage, people gather around because in the vision, crowd would gather around and be pointing up at me, just floating. Just floating slowly. Actually, it's almost like I was what do you call it? Hovering, just one place.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, man.
crowd gather and was pointing at me. Me on stage, crowd around, and stage is always high
Right.
above the people.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was my calling. I was meant for this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you once said that the motivation to start the music wasn't financially, right? Because it was about recognition, and it was about being seen and being on stage.
Music. It was just music. Yeah. Well, then, because like I said, I had no urge for money. You know, I even today I realize money is a necessity. You know, to do things, but it's not really a priority. You know, you know, you don't really have to have money to live. You know, maybe you just need it to survive or to live a certain way. You know, yeah. If I was thinking of money that way, I'd be too rich. You know, because I'm capable of doing almost anything. Back then, I had the capability. Yeah, people see or saw it in me. That they said it many times. Leroy, you could have been anything you wanted to be. You know? Yeah. See that little plane that's hanging there? Yeah. Just the other day I said, I need to put a little plane in my thing, and I just look at that picture and carve it out, and there it is. Yeah. My place, how it stay, I didn't come, the place wasn't like this. This is all my design, inside and outside. Because we bought this house, it was an older house, probably the area. I went inside and we rearranged that, you know, open up certain area, do whatever I want, you know, turned it into how I wanted. Yeah, from the front to the back. All this wasn't here. It was all dirt and if I showed you a picture of what this was, man, you couldn't believe. You think it was a ghost house. Yeah.
And it's really beautiful.
Thank you so much. Everyone come and say that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I chose my colors, my everything. You know. You said the red and yellow, but it's not really it's not really red. No. You know, it's earth burgundy kind of color. You know, earth colors. Yeah, here she comes, and here comes Mira. Mira. Here she answers. Yes, baby girl. You see that lady? Oh, you might want to tell her that's what she do. Did she come and does it? Yeah.
But do you think that this somewhat natural leadership or this just effortless care for others, do you think that this is what brought you also, for example, at Coxsone and Studio One in the position of kind of really taking care of everything, right? You auditioned people, you arranged sessions.
After a while, everything dropped in my lap. The whole production, everything, from beginning to end, because they saw, and then it was profitable to Coxsone, and it wasn't costing them no extra because I wasn't pressuring them for no money. I was just there doing the work and love to, you know, to do what I was doing.
How can I imagine like a random day at Studio One when you were there? How you spend the whole day or how?
No, we started Monday to Friday midday from 12 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and we would well, it really started from Sunday, because Sunday would be the day we audition new acts. You know,
Okay.
singers come in and you listen to the songs, and if you like the songs, then you tell them come Monday.
Okay.
You know, so it started on Sunday. You know, same time too. It's all from midday to 5. Yeah. So during the week now, Monday to Friday would be the singers would come in the studio, and I would have my acoustic guitar.
Okay.
They would come and sing for me. I would work the chords out,
Okay.
you know, get that out there, and the rest of the musicians would be sitting there waiting until I say, well, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do this track. This is, you know, the formulate the basic track, you know, the chords structure, and then each musician, you know, keyboards would be following that chord structure, and then had whatever flavor he has to have the guitarist, everyone falling, sing and sing. I would give the on. I'd love to give the on section. I would love to create the on section, the introduction. Most of those melodic horns you hear at Studio One horns are my original ideas. You know, yeah, they were always harmonic and melodic and harmonic meaning they harmonized. You know, it wasn't mostly. I hardly gave the horn section unison sounds. Unisons mean like, the same sound on a high pitch, low pitch. Yeah, I always get them melodies with harmonies. So yeah, I always love that. So that part of it. So the singer would, but the singer wouldn't be recording then. It would be just be singing soft, just enough for everyone to hear, to guide the song, the feel, the right tempo, the feel. We record the track, and from Monday to Friday, we'll be doing that from 12 to 5. Saturdays now, whoever you record or whoever you tell to come to voice, we'll be voicing on Saturdays. So we would put the vocals on track on Saturdays. So because Monday to Friday, we would just be doing the raw track while the singer sing, but he wouldn't be recording. We just do the tracks. Yes, the instrumental off the song, right? For one reason, we only had 2 tracks back then. We only were working with stereo. Even before that, they only had mono, but that was before my time. When I got in there, the transition went to stereo, which was a good thing. So what they did, this was the studio engineer. He would record the drum and bass on one track, and the rest of the rhythm on the other track. So there would be no space at that time for the singer to sing. They wouldn't do that because they needed the track. So what they do, they bounce those 2 things there. They keep that original recording, right? And they bounce it to one track, right? And left one track now for the vocals. You're right. So, and that's how they would do it, and then they would be able to mix. So when they needed dub wise and all them things, they had the original track now where drum and bass is on one. That they had to learn to improvise those 2 tracks to make it happen.
And did they only have one stereo track, reel to reel machine, or 2?
Yeah, 2 definitely. Yeah, because they'd have to be bouncing from one to another, so they'd have 2. Yeah.
So okay, from Monday to Friday you're working on the instrumentals with the singer. On the Saturday you're recording the vocals. On Sunday you're auditioning the next.
Yeah.
So it's really 7 days of the week.
I was there for nearly 6-7 years.
Wow.
And loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Oh yes, yeah. It was music, and the kind of music. Yeah, because when I just got there, right, I wasn't into all of this. I just got there as a rookie, young and green. So all we were doing there was just recording, vocals. That's the eptones. I was there establishing the eptones. I was writing and arranging for the eptones.
So this is how you met Coxon, because you were there with the heptones.
Yes. Yeah, we went there one Sunday, after I think we were ready. I practiced these guys for quite a while, giving them the harmony parts. And so all of this pre-learning helped me when I took over the studio part of it, because I knew, all of this before I was in there, So I wrote for the heptones, gave them, because Earl Morgan, he was doing he was selling Star on the daytime, his little hustling to make his money. I was doing arc welding, electrical welding, but I stopped all of that. And started writing and stayed home and wrote in the daytime. Barry Llewellyn, he was a body band vehicle, work at a body shop, automotive, yeah. So when they came home in the afternoons, they were always coming home to new songs. Because I stayed home, I write and arranging everybody parts, everything. So when they came in, so these guys, all they had to do was just learn their part, you know. They had, and we had a thing with the Heptones back then. You sing what you write. So any song that you hear of the Heptones, that was a song that they produced, that they brought to me, you know. And I worked at it and have it arranged and all of that, you know. So most of the songs that I sang were of my writing and but all of the arrangements forever was me. All the arrangements, you know. Even the last hit song that I played bass on, The Book of Rules. I was living in Canada then. Barry and Earl were there. They came home, and we got a deal with Island Records. I came and I heard him with this song, but he only had half of a song. You know, the idea. I sat with him, worked it out, had him do another. He had I think, the first verse and the chorus. So we sat down and wrote the second verse out, and I set the arrangements. We went to record this song, you know, at RJ's. I played bass, and we did some beautiful harmonies. We got really good harmonies on that song. Yeah, I was there singing on the highest blend on the harmony, on the chorus. Yeah, you know. And that was the last bass that I did. Yeah, and the last bass line. Yeah, but I've created bass line for all of these Studio One people. Yeah, and I realized that my style was the style that stood out of all the bass players that ever played reggae music in Jamaica. Oh yes, for me to come to that conclusion is that more singers and DJs are on my bass lines than anybody else. And you have some great bass players like Boris Gardner, you know, the bass player that plays for Treasure Isle. I forgot his name right now. Jackie. Exactly, ma'am. Yeah, exactly. These are people that I rate, you know, because they have done their work. Yeah. But Leroy Sibbles have the bass lines that the people go for. They're making. Sorry. Too word. Yeah.
How did you start playing the bass in the first place? We know you learned the guitar in Trenchtown from the Rasta Elder, and then the singing started basically, I figure, with your mom, right, on the Sundays. How did this bass come in? I think Jackie Me Too, right?
Jackie Me Too.
He motivated you.
Yes.
Because
he introduced the bass to me. Yeah, because it's because of the Heptones that Jackie Me Too name got prevalent. Because we did a song called Fatty Fatty. Jackie Me Too and his crew made the music, you know, and that song played on the radio for about 2 weeks and was banned because of its lyrical content. Right, so Jackie Me Too, they made an instrumental on the said musical track.
Okay.
Called it Ram Jam. It went #1, you know. Even our song went #1 after here, the Fatty Fatty, because the jukeboxes. Yeah, the jukeboxes played that like, it was a big, like, more than radio. Obviously. Yeah, man. That's how the Heptones got their name, because of Fatty Fatty. Big song. So that's how Jackie Me Too got his name. His rendition was called Ram Jam, right? So he was a star now, you know. He was just a studio musician before, no one knew of him, but he has a hit song right now out there, so he's a star. So he got a gig to play at a club called the Tit for Tat.
Oh yeah.
Right. So and all of these is the Almighty God works, because sometimes things happen, but it was all ordained. It's destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he came to me and said, Leroy, because Studio One, a lot of musicians pass through Studio One. So if it was supposed to be so, he would have gotten a bass man. I wouldn't have to come to me, and I would not be playing bass now. But the Almighty God had it all set, planned, yes, and brought me in there to do this, because that's the way it was supposed to be.
Right.
What else can I say?
Yeah.
Yeah. He came to me, I've never touched a bass guitar before, never even touched it,
Yeah.
because it was never in my concept to play bass.
Yeah.
And even today, I'm not a bass player.
Okay.
Yeah. I see myself as one who created the bass lines that bass player plays.
Okay. I see.
You understand? Yeah. A bass player is a guy who, that's what he does. He plays the bass.
Yes, right.
Yeah. You agree with me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So he said, Leroy, I have this gig. But he always knew me with my acoustic guitar.
Right.
He all these great songs that he had recorded for the Heptones with me up front. He knew that I'm the one who played all these, created all these chords, structures, created all these songs. So he knew of my musical ability, yes. So he said to me, you're getting the best interview that I've ever done.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're so cool and relaxed and smooth.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm loving it.
Yes, man. So he said, I need a bass man for this gig, for a trio,
Right.
a three-piece band. And he wanted me to fill in as the bass player. He said, I have a drummer and I'm going to play keyboards, but I don't have a bass man. I said, me and Jackie play bass. I've never. He said, yeah, you can do it. So the bass over there, bring it over here in the studio. And we sat down and then he played the songs that he wanted. He said, these are the lines everybody did. All you have to do is practice these lines and we go out there and mash this to the show. And I just did that.
But he must have seen the talent in you because he was confident he didn't use an established bass player. He said, you can
do it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. So this is our destiny. This is not just a thing happening, It was meant to be like this. Yes. Because I remember, I sang a song called Soul Power. I'm saying, oh Lord, give me the power to set my people free. We want the right to live like free men, but poverty is all we see. And I think that's where God gave me that baseline thing. Because the amount of people that have made their career, There are people down the line, from one thing down the line that have profited from those bass lines. Yes. Because each individual, every singer that sing reggae music from way back then up to today, every singer and every DJ is on Leroy Sibbles bass lines. Every. I mean, that's one or two, every. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the Almighty answering my call, because I have created a way within these bass lines for a lot of people. Yes. So I sat there with Jackie Me too, and we practiced these lines and stuff, and went to the Tit for Tat club, and we tore that place down. And I enjoyed every moment of it. We did a few months there, and it was packed and really nice. That was another form of the music that I enjoyed, that I had, yeah, opened up to me, that I really had a pleasure of. Yeah. So after that, right after that, some people came from England, the Carreras. There's a cigarette company in Jamaica. They introduced a new cigarette, called Embassy King. And so they wanted to do a thing on that, promote this new product.
Yeah.
So what they did, they came to Studio One, and somehow, I don't know who got in touch with these young kids. It was Phil Kalinda's drummer, Robbie Lynn, keyboards, guitar was Rick Frater, you know. And I became the bass man right in there. Ken Booth was, that's how I met those guys, those that I just mentioned. And Ken Booth was the person at the time. He was a major star. He was on top. He was saying and doing right there at that moment. So they called Ken Booth to be the headliner on this. He would be singing up front. My very first two recordings was those two recordings that we did there with them as promotion. You know, it was 45 records. It was vinyl then, so it could have one side. So we did the Embassy King promotional song that someone wrote and Ken sang it, and on the flip side, he wrote one of Ken's song that he wrote was called "Without Love You Just Can't Go On." So about when I was a boy, you know that song?
Yeah.
Without love you just can't go on. Me and a man called Denzel Lang. He was a percussionist at Studio One. We sang harmony, and we went on tour. We went all island tour, doing this Embassy King thing. We had on a short red jacket and white pants, because the cigarette was red and white.
Okay.
Label, you know. Yeah. So we all was out there looking like a pack of cigarettes. Yeah, but it was good. It was fun, and a learning experience, because you know. So after that, we came back. That ended after, you know, it did its term, and a real recording now. My first real recording was Jackie in the studio, me on bass, and these guys, and we did Baby Why. And from that day, every time I played a bass line, was a hit song. Was hit. Leroy was start putting out hits like, all when Jackie left, that's when I started putting, because I was doing my own creations now, my own bass lines, I was totally in charge of the studio now, and yeah. You know.
And that was at Studio One,
Studio
right?
One. Yeah,
right.
Studio One, Jackie
So
Studio.
would Coxon be there during the day?
No, he was never there. Cox was the one who came in at nights and reviewed what we did, what was done in the day. Yeah, you know, yeah, and he loved it because I became the major person back then. Yeah.
So how was you guys' relationship between you and Coxon? Was it business or was it friendship? What was it like?
It was mostly business, you know, because Coxon was all right, but he was the executive producer. I wasn't there for Coxon. I was there for the music, you know. So we didn't have much of a out of studio relationship, you know. And then he wasn't the kind of guy that was giving us our financial rewards as he was supposed to. He was serious as a businessman. I guess he was very selfish financially. So we didn't have that kind of love. No one there had that kind of love. People would appreciate him and all of that and all of that. We understand that, you know. But he was like just the boss, you know. So we, the musicians, all got along together more than the boss. The boss is the boss, you know. Yeah. So.
But you kind of had your playground there, and
Yeah.
this was your place, you know.
Yeah, my playground was inside the studio from 12 to 5. That was all mine, you know. Yeah, you know. So we did that. We did music like when Dennis Brown as a little kid came in there. We played out the whole album for Dennis Brown there, and almost every song on that album was a hit. You know, his very first hit song that we released, "No One Is an Island," straight to #1. The whole album, that album there, bad. It was like they was on top, you know, yeah. And we did when the very first 2 songs that we did at Studio One, the for the cables. The second song was "What Kind of World." That was my creation of a bass line, and that is mashing up the place up to today. Yes, yeah, people going on it right up to today. The latest recordings on that was done by The River, by Morgan Heritage, yeah, you know, and Freddie is on there too, you know, and some other people too. You know, whenever you touch a Studio One bass line, is usually a Leroy Sibbles bass line, yeah, creation, you know. And I'm proud of that. It makes me proud, you know. It feels good to know that I have contributed and in a major way, you know. Oh yes.
And I mean, you mentioned several names of musicians that you played with, like Phil Callender, Robert Lynn, and so forth, Jackie Me Too. Who would you say did you enjoy playing with the most?
These guys that I mentioned. That's why I mentioned them first. You know, yeah. I've gotten some. That drummer, he passed away. May he rest in peace. Phil Callender was one of the best drummer I've ever played with. Even though I played with another drummer called Osmouth. Is actually on that Dennis Brown album is Osmouth, and I played on that, and it wasn't Phil. You know, Osmouth has a one style. That was his problem with me. Every song him play the same style, one style. You know, when Phil was improviser, you know, yeah. He would play. He would be feeling what he was doing, you know. You have different feelings for different tracks, and I love that, you know. Yeah, but they were all guided by bass lines. Oh yes.
And so can I imagine you guys in the studio together from the 12 to 5, being like in a lab, kind of working out things where, all right, maybe we try this or that.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, actually, it wasn't even a lot of let us try this, you know, because as I hear the song, the bass line came to me, you know, and from the bass line come, the song is ready, because everyone is just following the progression of the chord progression of the song. You know, I have to go out of my way to find a bass line. This is different, totally different. You know, it's easier for everyone else, but for the bass line, because you have to come with a bass line that works. You know, yeah, because back then a bass line tells the song. You know, yeah, back then it wasn't just the title of the song, you know. The bass lines were very important. Yeah. It was the bass lines. That was the main important thing back then.
One quote I heard from you was that you are so happy about the fact that you were there with reggae from the very beginning of the thing, right? That you were a part of it all along the way. So how was that like in the late 60s when the music transitioned from rocksteady into reggae? How was the spirit of people like? them time. Was did that just progress naturally, or did you say, all right, make we do something new? Or
Yeah, most what my thought, right, is that is that the the singers, right, predict the mood and the tempo of songs. So when singers started to bring slower songs, that all it took. That's all you needed to change. If you understand what I'm saying, you know. And I would not put that on no special individual. Some people say it's me. Some people say it's somebody else. Some people say it's Epton. Some people. I I cannot pinpoint the exact time or whoever was responsible. I know that we were part of that because I was never a lover of ska.
okay,
I had to accept it, and while it did its time, I was there a part of it, enjoying it and doing whatever I had to do. Because our first album was for Suda One was a bit of ska influence because at the time that's where the music was. But as we continue working, it all slowed down and became rock steady.
so that was more your thing. What is your thing?
Yeah, rock steady. Oh yeah. Because like I said earlier, I wasn't a lover of ska. You know, I listen to the music and there's a lot of ska music that I love, but I wasn't a lover of ska music. When it came down to rock steady, they had me rocking steady. Yeah, love that. Yeah, and transition to ska. I don't even see much difference between ska and rock steady. There's not much difference because I can't even tell you. I can't tell you that. Rocksteady, right? One thing I know about Rocksteady was the bass lines was had a bit of that. What some guys would call it one drop kind of sound. The bass line was playing a dip that you thought a dip and fall back kind of a thing about it, and you could have ska the same thing. The ska, there's not much difference between rocksteady and ska. Like I'm saying, not much different. Same kind of feel, same kind of temper in most of the music. Yeah.
So when the music, when the singers kind of, let's say, started that process of the music slowing down and whatever. What do you think motivated that? Was that, I mean, we're talking about the 60s. In 62, Jamaica got its independence, and then the mid-60s, they moved on to rocksteady. Was that kind of a reflection also of what was going on in society or the overall vibe? Or what do you think caused that?
There's a time, because time changes things, Even if you even look at today, what the music has gotten to, They say dancehall, but the dancehall has changed. I think they call, what do they call it? Trap, So I guess right now the kids, they're trapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a new transition and what's happening, So that's just it. Time changes things, Yeah, we transition as we go along to whatever it is. Because I remember even before it got to trap, it was that computerized thing, and
Right,
we were trapped right in there. Yeah, it has becoming the music of today, what I would think is like a single, a solo production kind of thing. It's a beat instead of a creative group effort, you know? Yeah.
Different kind of
Totally
vibration.
different, yeah, and it is soulless. It has less soul because when a group of people come together,
Literally, right?
yes, yes, when a group of people come together like they used to, there was all these individual spirits
Yeah,
and vibes combined
yeah,
to make that music.
yeah.
Now, when one guy does come and does tap his laptop and come and oh yeah, and it's not lasting anymore. You can see it might be blasting but not lasting. You know, yeah.
And I was just about to ask that as well. Do you think that another special thing about what was happening back then was also due to the camaraderie between musicians? I mean, you spend 7 days a week in the same spot creating.
Yeah, and that was a good. After a while, it becomes a good environment. You know, we all look forward to that. It's like a family. You know, yeah, and it we got so close and tight because if you listen, I know this. When we just started as a group recording there, music was not as great as after we really got really tight later on, like a year after or whatever, you know? Yeah, man. You could see the difference. You could feel the difference and you could hear the difference, you know? So I know that what I know is when a group of people come together, you know, it's not just a band, like a bond. You know what I mean? You know, and I think that's where it's really coming from, you know, the word band and bond, you know? Yeah, you know, because it's a combination of souls and spirits, you know? Yeah, working together on that one recording, you know? Putting all that individual magic in there, that will be lasting. Yes, of course. More lasting than one guy go and tap a thing and boom, 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 and you know.
And speaking of lasting, I mean, music has been there with you throughout your entire life. More than 60 years of your life you have dedicated to this
Yes,
reggae industry or Jamaican music
yes,
on a whole.
yes.
Does was there ever any moment of lack of enthusiasm or where you said, I think we're kind of finished with this, you know?
If I had a chance to start all over again, I'd be doing the same thing all over again. And I wish I could have a chance to start all over again and do it all over again, because another one thing I would had to make it perfect would be management. You know, that we didn't know nothing about management. You know, and that was lacking for not just me but all the singers and musicians of my time. That's the only downfall or misfortune that I see within this. Yes, and it wasn't just Jamaican alone too. You know, it was happening in the States too, in the early days. You know, musicians were even at Motown. The guys who played all of those hit songs, they did a little documentary video back then to just show who they were, just to let people know who they were. You know, so Barry Gordy was doing the same thing that Coxon was doing. There was no names on the back of the albums of the musicians, crediting all the people who were involved to make this possible, and that was bad. You know, that was bad. But I guess it was done for a lot of reasons, and one of the main reasons is like financial.
Of course. Yeah.
That was the main thing.
Yeah. That was true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I'm very happy that you're still doing this. Even all now, you have your own label named after your dad's shop, right? Bright Beam. Tell me a bit, because you have the studio there as well, right? You're still working in the music. What are you working on right now?
Well, right now, we're having a little pause right now, because we have created a lot of music, through the pandemic, yeah, and we have the music there. We have a lot of music out there, so we want to get what we have put out more established, and I have put out a lot of stuff with my personal cash and all that, and I haven't seen any returns yet, So we're here, and that's what I'm looking forward to do right now. What I want to do, I want to go on the road too, I'm long to go on the road and, sing for some of my people who love reggae music, and
Hoovering and having the people gather,
exactly,
right?
definitely, yes. I want to go live some of that right now,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so we're paused just for a little while on the recording side of it. There's some stuff inside of that we want to get finished too. There's a track, I remade a track for a friend of mine. He's in the States. He wants me to voice something on it, so I'm going to look at that. There's a drum and bass that I did, me and Glenn Washington, because he's a great drummer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really?
So we did a drum and bass, so I need to bring some people, keyboards and guitarists, and complete that track. Because all we have there is just drum and bass right now on that track. And
You play the bass and he play the
they play
drums.
drums. Definitely, yes. So we have that to complete, and that's about it right now. We have a young youth called Young Garvey.
Garvey, right?
Yes. He has an album here, and he put out a lot of songs. We put out with him, I'm hoping that one of these songs really put him on a platform that he can start to see something, financial for himself. Because it's very hard when you're spend years in the business, knowing that you're very talented and not being able to live off your talent. I hope that he can start to see some returns too, to up his spirit and encourage him to do some more music.
So you're still basically out there always looking for talents just like you used to at not really?
Not really, because I cannot afford in this time to promote artists. It's not like long time ago. It was much easier back then. Now it depends. It has reached a stage right now that it depends on you and your social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get that going, then it's good for you, as an artist. But that's where it's at right now.
Yeah.
You won't even get signed until your social media is following is up to a few millions and all them kind of thing. So that's where it's at. So it has. A lot of people might think it's much easier, but it has become much difficult, much hard. Yeah, because if you cannot develop that kind of following, you're nowhere in the business yet. No matter how good you might sound and it's doing.
You have to spend so much energy on building up that on those platforms instead of using that energy for your music, actually for your studio works and your creativity.
Yes, I have a grandson. Is into hip hop, really great, because he's coming off my bloodline. He's musical. His sister too. She just turned 16 a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Great singer. you when you hear that, you can't believe it. Great, 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 great. Yeah.
But I mean, as we see in the background already a little bit,
Yeah, man. So you need to do.
you have also another side project of
Oh,
yours
yeah.
that you established
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, yeah. I've become a little homegrown farmer, you know. Yeah. The pandemic did this to me, you know. Yeah, taught me to do something else apart from music, you know, which I really love and enjoy.
So really, just recently through the pandemic, not
Yes, yeah. I was doing it before, but I wasn't so into it, you know.
because it
But I
looks
had more
really
time.
professional.
I had more time, yeah, you know. Yeah, I had more time now to really get involved in there because the pandemic has kept a lot of people at home.
Right.
So while I've been home, I became a farmer. Yeah, a little home farmer. And I love it now. Oh yeah, I love it, love it, love it. Oh yeah.
It's great in so many aspects because you have your own good food,
Yes.
you exercise, you're outside.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so it has become another part of me, which I love. Yeah, man. So that's that, you know.
So we have the music to look forward to. We have hopefully live shows coming. Looking forward to that, and then of course also when you're ready to harvest.
Yes, yes, that's that for real, you know. Oh yes, man. Life has been good to me, you know, and I give thanks because so many of my peers have passed away, you know, and yeah, so many, you know, and I'm glad to be one of the survivors, you know. You know, sorry for those that have passed, you know, but that's how life is. Yeah. They say in the midst of life, there's death. You know, when you was born, that's another part that's given to you. You know.
I'm glad that you're still with us and that you're still with us with your music, that you're still making the contribution to the industry. Leroy Sibbles, the living legend. Thank you so much for sharing with us your precious memories, for giving us such a deep insight on your story and on your personal life, and for also bringing me to this very place here. Thank you very much. Enough love and respect and all the very best for the years and years to come.
Thank you for having me and for having me able to extend some more of my memoirs, you know.